I'm Joanna, and you're watching ComicsVerse. I'm here at Special Edition New York Comic Con with artist Felipe Echevarria. How has your experience been here so far?
It's been a very good con. Much more crowded than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't expect it here either. Were you here last year too, or is this your first year?
First year.
Uh-huh. Have you been to any other Comic Cons?
Oh yeah, I'm doing 13 of them this year, so making the rounds.
Do you have a favorite?
Denver's been good for me. I actually live near Denver, and I think it's set the record again this year, and it's like the third biggest con in the country now. Yeah, it's good.
It's amazing. Have you been to NYC, or are you planning to go there?
I do NYC every year. I do San Diego every year. I do Spectrum Fantastic Arts. Actually, I didn't do that this year. And just a handful of other cons.
So, what made you get interested in coming to cons and selling your beautiful art?
I'm somebody who I really like to do comics, and I like fine art. I'm trying to merge the two, and that's why I'm here. I'm promoting that kind of genre.
So, do you have any artistic period that has really influenced you in your artwork?
Artistic
time period?
Time period? Oh, I suppose more of the Impressionistic period, perhaps, and then the Abstract Expressionists from the 50s and 60s. 70s.
So Picasso is a big artist for you, or is it?
Really? I think I like Rauschenberg, Cy Twombly. Those are the fine artists I like a lot. And a lot of comic artists, too, I'm influenced by.
Do you have a favorite comic that you loved to read when you were a little boy that really grasped on? And
I really enjoyed the war comics by Joe Kubert, and a lot of that. I actually went to his school, so I got to be his slave for 2 years, and then under his son Adam Kubert for a year. That was a good time.
So, are you interested? Are you reading any comics now that you love, or?
I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I don't read comics anymore. I don't have any time. But I'm actually reading a little bit more. Now that I'm getting out more to these cons, I'm running into people who are giving me comics to read, and I'm a little bit behind. It's also hard to figure out what to pay attention to anymore. Yeah, there's so much out there.
Definitely. Marvel's a big name now, but you have so many things out there that it's tough to choose.
Yeah, it's very difficult to choose.
So, how long on average does it take for you to create a painting?
Anywhere from about 4 to 24 hours, depending upon the size and complexity. Like something like maybe this one back here took me maybe 2.5 hours. Yeah, so not very long. I'm actually a very fast painter. It's just I have to force myself to sit down and paint. That's the hard part.
Do you have a painting that is most popular with people who come by to your booth and take a look at your stuff?
In general, yes. People seem to really like the Batman stuff. That one up there, Batman's always stable. But a lot of these with the women in them, like the spear women here, people really seem to really like those. Yeah.
When I was speaking with you earlier, you said that, especially with Princess Leia, you don't sexualize women. You portray them in a specific way. Can you tell me more about what really inspired you to do something like that with your paintings?
I've been very interested in metaphysics and spiritual thought and human potential movement for a long time, and I'm also trying to incorporate not only with my fine art and the comics, but I want to empower people in general, but especially women. And I'm doing that with my Death from Above book here. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. But you have to forgive my artist mind that's been jet lagged too. It's not linear. So could you reiterate on the question a little bit more too?
What inspired you? What interested you in creating these feminist, ideas in your paintings?
Okay. So it's a lot of that. And also I like to put drama into my work, and that's what comics are all about, is overcoming conflict. And it seems to be a really fertile ground for those kind of stories, as well as film. But I want to have that fine art aesthetic going into my work. And that's becoming more and more rare nowadays. Everything's digital, and I'm a traditional painter. And I've been finding out my work is standing out quite a bit now. So I'm trying to use a lot of those traditional artists from the past to inspire what I'm doing as well.
Do you have someone that really caught your eye, an artist that really made you start doing these traditional paintings? And I know you do a lot of charcoal work and everything, so did you have anyone that was a big role model for you?
Oh, I suppose it's just artists from history, like most artists are influenced by. But some of the artists in my school, like George Pratt, he was my teacher. He's a good friend of mine now. Other friends like Bill Sienkiewicz, some of the expressive painters in the business. Those guys kind of got me seeing the potential. They were a few years ahead of me. I unfortunately graduated 4 years behind most of those guys. But they seem to be the biggest influence for me.
Amazing. And do you want to explain the meaning behind one of an important piece to you, and just as so people can really see how deep your painting is?
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Maybe I can hold this up for the camera. This is Death from Above. All I want to do on this one is just get people to not be afraid of death. So we take a walk around in these surreal places as she talks about death, and she is death, and how not to be afraid of fear, how to recognize fear, how not to be afraid of death anymore, and how to be happy in life. And so I'm not interested in sensationalistic stuff. I want to empower people, but I want to do it through very interesting stories and the most incredible art I can come up with. So I have that one going, and then I have a couple other series that have to do with spirituality and metaphysics as well that are on the back burner.
Really interesting. And I know earlier today, and I mean yesterday, we came to you asking for maybe a donation or something for our raffle today, and you painted a beautiful painting for us in an hour. So did you have an inspiration that just clicked in your mind for that, or was it just came pouring out?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question. It still goes back to the same thing. I want to empower women, and what I find interesting is I have these nude females with spears, and they have like this back here, this one back here, and she's got red paint on her face, and it's surprising to me that women have gravitated more towards those images rather than men. And so women are buying those prints and not the men. So I find that kind of interesting. But that's where I want to take this work, is to have that something that stands out that people can relate to, especially for women too. Because I don't think women have enough role models in this business, as well as they don't have enough reason to really pay attention to a lot of the work around here. Because a lot of it is idealistic in a way that is stereotypical. And unfortunately, when it comes to that, we've got over-muscled men and extremely curvy women. Most of us aren't like that. That's nothing new. There's a lot of people not doing that. But I want to do that with beautiful painted art.
I can speak for myself that it's amazing, and it really is empowering, And I mean, we have Princess Leia here, and a lot of people remember her for her golden bikini in, Return of the Jedi, and it's just really nice to see something different. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Even with my Wonder Woman, I make her, maybe I can find that piece. I sell this more to women than men. So that's kind of a surprise to me as well, but that seems to be the way it works for me.
Is there a specific role model in the comic book universe that you think is very empowering for women?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think probably you're going to have to ask women artists for that. I'm not sure, since I've been out of comics for so long, mentally, I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was really, amazing to talk to you and to learn more about your art. Thank you.
Yeah, real pleasure. Thanks.
This is Joanna, and you're listening to ComicsVerse.